What is up? It's Crusade, and we're back. And in my previous video, we talked about some perks and some items, and you may have noticed I skipped over a particular item. No, I'm not talking about the stupid flashlight. I'm indeed talking about the skeleton key, right here. And it's a pretty interesting item, and is incredibly rare. I mean, it says ultra rare, but I mean, I only have one at level 39. I believe I had 6 or 7 of the brand new parts, and that was an ultra rare item. So I don't know if you only get one of these keys per like level through of a character, but it is definitely incredibly rare. So actually, first off, let's go through what the skeleton key itself does. So it says there's 30 seconds of use. It doesn't really say what that use is, because actually alone that use is nothing. So it does nothing on its own, but it does have a power. But it can also be consumed to open black locks, and a black lock is just the hatch or the trapdoor, and it basically means you can go through the trapdoor before it unlocks normally, which is when you're the last survivor standing. Okay, so add-ons real quick. There are a couple of really interesting ones, but I'm gonna go through the insurance add-ons real quick. So Milky Glass, it's when you use the skeleton key, it'll consume this add-on instead, and the Weaved Ring, if you die, it'll take this add-on instead. And then there's some cool stuff like the Blood Amber. When you use the key, it's right-click, the power of the key, it'll allow you to see the killer's aura within a 32-meter range. That's pretty strong. And of course it says that it greatly expends the energy, so you probably wouldn't get the full 30 seconds out of the key if you use this. And the gold token reveals survivors' auras within a 48-meter range, so basically identical function of Dwight's bond, but of course that'll eat up the key. And prayer beads adds 15 seconds to the skeleton key. So I mean, you could do something like prayer beads plus gold token or blood amber and get a lot of use out of the key. But of course if you die or use the key, you're gonna lose all this stuff, and I mean, I only have one key, so I probably don't want to do that. I could go with insurance in case I die, and then you either roll with the blood amber or gold token. I mean, kind of situational, which you would want to run with. But I feel like being able to know where the killer is pretty handy if you don't want to get caught, but at the same time, being able to know where your teammates are, and it can help you heal them up and whatnot. But I mean, if you want to be kind of selfish and just kind of do your own thing and stay alive yourself, Blood Amber is going to be way better, honestly. Okay, so I'm going to run through a couple of games. I'm not going to do live commentary because it is a lot easier to focus, but I will just put in commentary afterwards, and we're going to see how these matches go. Alright, a match full of rank 20s, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so I got the Blood Amber along with one of the insurance items loaded into the skeleton key. So I'll be able to see the killer if he's within 32-meter range. And we are fighting against a Wraith in this match. Spoiler, but the thing about the key is that you can't actually spot the Wraith when he's invisible, so that's unfortunate, but it makes sense, I guess. And I don't figure that out actually until a little later in the match. Yeah, and he's right there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to repair that generator. Dilly-dally with my teammate a little bit. And I didn't actually mention this about the trapdoor, but of course it unlocks the trapdoor, but the locked version of the trapdoor doesn't actually spawn until the certain conditions are met. I think a certain number of generators need to be taken, or there's only needs to be like 2 players alive or something like that. So a bit of important information. It's also, I mean, it's pretty hard to find the trapdoor when it's locked because it doesn't make that sound. So actually, you can use the key, but I'm not able to see him because he's invisible. But the skeleton key really isn't that good, I mean, by itself, especially even though it can unlock the black lock, I mean, I've never been in a situation where being able to unlock the trapdoor was a good thing, and here I just figured out that I can't spot him while he's invisible. I already burned half my charges and no use out of it yet, but we shall see. But again, with the black lock, the skeleton key isn't really good at all. I was thinking skeleton key was the worst item, and I mean alone, yeah, it is, but I mean with this blood amber, and I haven't gotten use out of it yet, but being able to see the killer is actually pretty good, especially on this map. It's hard to see Ginger. It's hard to see where the killer's coming from in the cornfields, and it's actually gonna help me out here. Of course, the Wraith can just sneak up on you invisible, and it kind of trumps the skeleton key, but it is helpful if you hear heartbeats, you're behind a wall, you're in a building or something, and you're not really sure where he's going to be approaching from. Pretty handy then. Oh, and another quick fact. Yeah, see, invisible there. Another quick fact about opening the black lock. Let's say there is 2 or 3 players on the map or something, and you unlock the trapdoor. The other players can also jump through it too, so that's just a FYI, I guess. Yeah, walks right into that stun. It's taking a sweet time. Just go ahead and get out of there. And I mean, when you're dancing around a building and you kind of lose track of him, yeah, right there, that's a good use. You see where he's headed, so then you can go in the opposite direction and try and get some stuff done. Of course, you want to be careful on your charge usage. Try to just hold down for a little bit. And of course, never try to burn up the last bit of charge on the skeleton key. And there actually was a point where I escaped with the skeleton key and I lost the key due to a bug, I guess. I mean, I survived and escaped with the key, but it just wasn't in my inventory anymore. Oh, yeah, spot him through the cornfield, so able to get out of there. But I did manage to get a second skeleton key, so I was able to get another match in after this one. But it turns out the skeleton key isn't too bad, as bad as I thought it was anyway. I was thinking maybe the flashlight was even better, but I think the skeleton key with the blood amber is actually better than the flashlight. Being able to see survivors with the gold token probably isn't that good, but I mean the blood amber is, I don't know, pretty good. Oh, and I never mentioned this before, but it's just a quick little tip. When you're running from the killer and you're out in the open, try to go in as straight as a path as you possibly can, because any amount of turning you do is going to allow for the killer to catch up to you much quicker, so definitely be careful on how much you're turning when you're being chased, because it can definitely help him close the gap. And just looking for the last generator here. I don't really have much charge left on my skeleton key, but I can probably get one more use out of it. That teammate got hooked. Never a good thing, especially since the key doesn't really help here. I mean, doesn't look like he spotted me. And he's going for the exit defense, so pretty easy unhook against a Wraith, especially since he's invisible. You can do a pretty easy unhook against a Wraith, because it takes him way too long to unstealth. And if you get hit, I mean, it's fine. He has the cooldown. You should be able to get out of there, especially since I have sprint burst, but yeah, we're just waiting around to make sure everyone can make it out of there. And it looks like we're good. Alright, so some decent use out of the key. Of course, I burned like half the charges without knowing that you couldn't see the Wraith while he's invisible, but I mean, trial and error. I'm gonna go ahead and get in one more game with prayer beads this time and the blood amber, so I can get a little bit more usage out of that, and I don't really feel like I need the insurance. I'm not really worried about losing a skeleton key anyway. It's not that great of an item, to be honest. Alright, a bit more of a high-ranked match this time. Again, using that Blood Amber, and we'll see how this goes, I guess. And it took me a while to get another decent match with this item, just because of bad luck. Plus, I kind of wanted to get in a game where I actually unlocked the Black Lock, but it just wasn't happening, to be honest. It's too little of a chance that you get put in a situation where it's good. Because usually you can just escape through the normal exit, or, I mean, you just wait until the Black Lock it unlocks itself, and you can just hop in. So, I mean, the Skeleton Key's primary function is a little bit, not just a little bit, but it's extremely underwhelming. Mainly because the trapdoor doesn't spawn locked on the map until very certain conditions are met. I think using the map with the red twine, no, not the red twine, the black silk cord is pretty good, along with like one of the stamps where you can spot Map Scout from much further away. You can spot the trapdoor from really far away just sprinting around with the map, and then you could spot it with that. But I mean, you can't hold the key and the map, so it's quite unfortunate. But Skeleton Key alone, again, pretty underwhelming. But this Blood Amber is, I mean, it's quite a unique thing. I don't think there's anything else in the game that allows you to see where the killer is like this. So it looks like the killer spawned pretty close to us. And of course you can use this busted transition here a little bit. It's not the most obvious vault, but it is there. Go ahead and get some repairing in. Yeah, he doesn't notice. Definitely take advantage of a preoccupied killer. Okay, looks like he is aware of us here. Use that window a little bit. So it can be a little difficult to cut around here, but these there's a couple of pallets around here that make it pretty nice. Yeah, continuing to work the generator because he doesn't seem to be completely on point. We're stunned there, 800 a pop, so stunning is pretty nice. And back on the generator because I really want to get this done and just get out of here. Although being on around this bus area, the bus area is, I mean, it's pretty safe. Those two pallets, I mean, there's that jump out at the back of that bus right there, and of course the transition across the bus. So I just gotta wait till he gets frustrated and leaves, scouting a little bit to make sure he's not hiding or anything. Though again, it is a wraith, so I can't see if he's invisible. But that'll wrap up that generator, at least. So Skeleton Key not getting too much use again yet. And just looking around for the next generator that I want to hit. Of course, you know, you start to hear heartbeats, so then that's a good cue to start using that key. And I'm not holding it on, I'm just like tapping it every once in a while so I can maximize the charge usage. And the key is pretty good on this map as well because there's so many walls, and so when you start hearing heartbeats you can't really 100% tell where the killer is, so key actually came in quite handy there, be able to see him through walls. Of course we saw him running in the other direction, so we know we're somewhat clear on this generator. But it looks like he's coming back. Again, I can hide behind a wall and use my key. Of course I got so many charges with those prayer beads. And I'm a little worried about getting back on the generator. Of course you can camp near a pallet. Oh, yes, we saw him picking up a guy right there, so I mean, it's unfortunate, but we know we're clear for a little bit. See him running off there. And hooked. Really close by. Pretty unfortunate, but hopefully teammates can get nearby quickly, so we can help them out. And he's looking over here, I think, but he still hasn't noticed us. Gonna get this generator. Okay. Seems to be camping it pretty hard. I could definitely go for it if he was in stealth, but he just came out, so you can't really do it solo if he's camping it out of stealth. Unless he walks away a little bit or you have a teammate there to take the hit. So just kind of stalking it to see if he makes a mistake. I mean, I'm not 100% looking for an unhook. Got a little scared there, but of course there's a pallet right nearby, so I'm not too worried. We see a guy using his flashlight, so we're kind of getting ready to pounce the hook right here. Yeah, just go for it, because he's on cooldown, so we know he's not going to be able to hit soon. Yeah, we take a hit, but we do get the unhook. And of course in the back of this truck here, you can do a little hop out as well. And we see the red light on the exit door, so we know we should be good if we just run for it. Because I was kind of relying on a teammate to open the doors here, and I was going for that unhook. And he's stealth, so yeah, pretty good. Pretty solid game, got some pretty decent usage out of the skeleton key. Again, I don't know if it's the best item. The med kit, again, it's really useful to be able to heal yourself. Plus, if you're aware enough to just keep track of the killer without the aid of the key, I mean, being able to heal yourself is just usually way better. But that is some usage out of it. Fortunately, again, I wasn't able to unlock anything with it, but it's really hard to be put in a situation where that's useful. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And actually, next time, real quick, we're going to be starting on the killer a little bit. I can go back to the survivor later, but for now, it's going to be mostly focused on the killer. Alright, see you guys next time.